right, welcome everybody to another Gathering Update Zoom as we help you guys prepare for the gathering next month. We only have a few more Gathering Update Zooms left this summer, but as a reminder, we'll be hosting 2 more of these Update Zooms in July right before the gathering and then August after the gathering is over. These Zooms will consist of 30 minutes of information, and they'll take a short break and stop the recording and stick around for office hours. As we mentioned last month, we're planning to extend our office hours to make sure we answer all of your questions, whether they're related to our topic for the evening or they're just general gathering questions. In case you have to miss a Zoom, or you want to share it with the other adult leaders in your group, just a reminder that we do upload the recordings on our YouTube and the Youth Ministry Facebook group, so you guys can catch them. You can catch up if you're just starting your summer break, or if you want to, again, share those with other people. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your evening to talk more about the gathering. We know summer is super busy. Like we talked about, a lot of BBS is going on right now, and you might be taking your vacations, of course. But gathering planning is super valuable, and we're just really glad that you're here spending your time with us. And we just want to extend that gratefulness to you guys as we inch closer and closer to July. If we haven't met yet, my name is Meredith Smith. I'm here with DCE Juliana Schultz, and tonight we're going to go over what you can expect on site when you arrive to the gathering.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of pieces to that. But right now I'm going to try and, there we go. All right. We're going to hit a few key reminders, things that you're going to need to know. And the first one is going to be that our online gathering store, hopefully you've been buying your swag up.
I had to fix the inventory, so they did buy it.
It's closing in just a few days here in June 15th. So you still have a little bit of time to submit your order for the gathering store items online. But then in June 15th, we start packing all of that up, that inventory, and shipping it down to New Orleans. And so those items on the online store will also be available along with some very cool new items. The store is going to have a ton of really great swag, really great material for us. Well, I'm very excited for some of it. I've already decided what I'm going to be spending my money.
I know, we were just talking about it.
Right. So leave a little room in your suitcases for that swag down at the gathering.
And you may have noticed on social last week that we gave you guys a sneak peek of the gathering clear bags. You know, so many people were asking about those. So as a reminder, the Superdome is requiring that all gathering participants follow the clear bag policy. So before you head to New Orleans, we encourage you to review those event policies on the gathering website for the convention center, the Superdome, and the gathering in general. We want to make sure that you guys show up to the gathering prepared. We don't want any of you guys to show up to the Superdome and get turned away by security or anything like that. So please take time to review all those event policies as you're thinking about what you're going to take into the Superdome. If you've got your mascots or your signs that you make, just make sure that you're reviewing that before you start packing to come down to New Orleans.
Right. One thing we want to reiterate one more time, I think we've said it a few times already, is that we need you to have a filled out and signed medical and liability consent forms off of our website. These forms are extremely important, and we want to make sure that you have all of this information for all of your participants, including your adults. So youth and adults should all fill out and sign these forms. We want you to keep those as an adult leader. We need somebody that has the kind of the master sheets. You can make copies and give those individual forms to each individual. They can carry it on their person, in their clear bag, of course, or fold it up there. We know that it might be worried about space in your bag, so you can have these digitally, and then maybe not carry them, for example, all the time, have them in the hotel room, but have them digitally, or like they did, printing them half size.
Oh yeah.
Right. But the gathering will not be collecting these forms, but you really want to be sure that every single person has these filled out and signed, that you hope you don't have to utilize them.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry.
Right. Right. Better safe than sorry. As somebody who's had to use them in the past, right? Like, better to have them and to make sure to have that for everybody.
And you may have heard us last month mention this, but we do have a dedicated team that's building a whole computer program to help us with assigned seating. The last I heard, they were actually doing the final testing to start doing that assignment process. So everyone's going to have an assigned seat that will change each night of the gathering. So you'll get different vantage points in the Superdome, but they're all great seats. If you are the primary adult leader, you will receive your seating assignments via email at least 1 week before the gathering. We know that it's cutting close and it's really hard to wait. You want to know where your sitting. But just note that's going to come, and then you're going to get a reminder of that when you're on site at the gathering. And of course, we're going to have a ton of volunteers and some help desk if when you get on site, you need some help either at the convention center or once you get to the Superdome, they'll be happy to help you find your seats.
And then finally, we've had a couple of questions pop up about, hey, we don't know where our location or the time of our Bible study is. So we do have that on the website. If you go to that Find Your Bible Study Assignment, you're going to need to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page.
Yes.
And click on the link. That'll be able to show what hotel, it'll find your hotel, the one you're assigned to, and that will tell you which Bible study assignment you have. So what room and what time. Bible study pair you're going to get to experience for your time at the gathering. So if you haven't done that already, this is a great time to do that.
So those are a few reminders that we had as you guys to get a handle on before arriving in New Orleans. But don't worry, we've got a number of resources to help you with all these final preparations in these upcoming weeks. We know you waited so patiently to hear more about our session options. If you haven't already, it's time to download the Gathering app. This is where you're going to find speaker info, session descriptions, the daily schedule of the gathering. The app is updated regularly, so you'll want to make sure that you check back often, especially right before the gathering. And while you'll receive a physical guidebook, we know we heard some people ask on the Facebook group, but we have kids that don't have smartphones. You'll get a physical guidebook on site that'll have a lot of the information. But there have been some changes since we had to send it to print. So the app is going to be really helpful during those days of the gathering. So if you have participants that don't have access to a smartphone during the gathering, just make sure that you're communicating those changes throughout the event. And then you're going to learn about some of them in your morning meetings too.
Yeah.
And then the app is available for everyone in the App Store and Google Play. We know that it's rated 17+, and that is because we have links to social media, not only for the gathering social media, but for some of our exhibitors, our sponsors, our speakers that we want you guys to be able to connect with even after the gathering. And that is just a rule in the App Store that if you've got that, it has to be listed as 17+. If you got the gathering update email, we left some instructions on how you can talk about that with parents. And how you can do the approval process on that. So there's lots of resources out there for that.
Yeah. All right. And if that wasn't enough information on all of the app, right? We do have a pre-gathering guide that is now available on the website, right? So our planning team kind of went through all the information we thought was important for you to consider before heading to New Orleans. And so in this pre-gathering guide, you're going to find things like hotel expectations, worship overview, tips for leading your group, safety, special needs, right?
Especially that special needs equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have, as we've gotten a few calls over the last few days, a kid who breaks an ankle and you need medical equipment, or femur. Apparently, we've had a couple of femur breaks. I don't know. Right. A kid who gets injured, you need to rent medical equipment while you're down there, crutches or knee scooters, that kind of thing. That information's already in there. So tons of great information here. So this is something you can download, you can go through. Meredith's done an amazing job of organizing everything. You don't have to memorize it all, but it is a great help for you to be able to start locking down and going through. Probably nothing super surprising, but some pieces to help you feel really prepared for the event.
I think a lot of those last minute questions are probably answered in the
So you're going to start, just like when we were doing registration, you heard us talk a lot about go to the registration guide. You're going to now hear a lot of your answers be like, go to the pre-gathering guide, right? And look at that. So that's one that could be really helpful for you to download.
Also brand new just this afternoon, we uploaded a Don't Panic final checklist for you guys that has everything listed that you need to have prepared before you leave for the gathering. With so many moving pieces of gathering planning, we figured this would be a good resource to remind yourself of all those final details, and you can cross them off as we get closer to the gathering.
Yeah. There's also, I've had a couple of questions about this one. A commissioning service, and you can use that commissioning service in a variety of ways, but it's themed around our theme Endure. Uses some of our scripture. It's got a prayer, and so it can be really useful for you as you have your congregation help to send your young people and your adult leaders off to the gathering, and let them know that they're being prayed for and cared for. So commissioning service. We are also working on a resource for pastors on tying in some of the themes from Endure and our thematic into the readings for the Sunday following the gathering, right? So if you got pastors who are listening, or if that's something that your pastor might be interested in, that should be coming to you soon. Is kind of just some, hey, here's some themes that you can tie into that Sunday after the gathering to help carry on that theme as they enter back home.
And as you guys are on that Bible study page reviewing your Bible study assignment, don't forget to download the traveling Bible studies. There's 2 studies on the website that is for on the way to the gathering and then on the way home from the gathering. So make sure you download those or print them out, however is best for your group, and add them to your packing list. You know, when you're done reading the pre-gathering guide, you can start preparing for the Bible study.
I know, it's just fantastic. Okay. All right, so it's a lot of resources.
It's a lot.
We lots of things to remind you of. Let's talk about what's going to happen when you get on site for registration, right? So we want to make sure that you guys aren't surprised or anything that happens at registration. You feel prepared and feel ready for that. So
yeah, registration is really like the first thing that you do at the gathering.
And it's going to go incredibly smoothly.
Absolutely.
It should be so easy. Yeah, we just so simple. The first thing we want you to do is to know that your one adult leader for every group is required to attend adult leader orientation. In the past, it was an option. You didn't have to do it. This time, we're asking that that be a requirement. So when you get to the convention center, one of our volunteers will direct you to go to orientation. Now, because we're requiring it, we've really redone it. We spent a lot of time really thinking critically about how we can make orientation the best that it can. So it is completely streamlined. It's almost all video, right? And it's going to be less than 10 minutes, right? We'll have lots of last minute updates, some important reminders for you. And then the information that you're going to hear there is going to be really quick because we're trying to get you through into registration. So one of the things we're doing is then repeating some of that information and adding to it in our morning meetings every morning in your hotel, right? So that information will be reminded, we'll be reminding you of that day by day and also adding to that information in your morning meetings.
Now,
So
can you tell somebody ask in the chat, when is orientation?
orientation is the exact same time as registration. So you can look on the screen right now. On-site registration happens Friday, July 18th from 1 to 5, and then Saturday, July 19th from 8 to 6, right? And so you can come anytime. Orientation's running the whole time, right?
It
Registration
constantly runs.
constantly runs. So pick the time that works best for you, right? All right, making sure.
You're talking about morning
Oh,
meetings.
Yeah, so morning meetings, right? So we really go to orientation. You're going to get your adult leader orientation completion ticket. It's very fancy.
Yeah.
It serves you as a prayer and a bookmark for you afterwards. So it's great. But once you get that ticket, because you completed orientation, then you're going to head to on-site registration.
Absolutely. And don't worry, our volunteers are going to be there to direct you every step of the way. Registration is going to take place in the Great Hall lobby at the Convention Center, which is where you start your whole registration process. As a reminder, Juliana just mentioned it about adult leader orientation, but registration is going to take place on Friday, July 18th from 1 to 5 p.m. and then Saturday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's really important to prioritize getting to registration during these times. If you have travel delays,
I did tell Paul Hammond that if he.
Be sure to check out the pre-gathering guide. Again, we're telling people to check it out for instructions about what a late arrival would look like for your group and your registration. There's a few items that you need to make sure that you have to receive those gathering wristbands. You're going to need, like Juliana mentioned, your adult leader orientation completion ticket that you'll receive at the end of adult leader orientation. You'll need to bring a printed copy or have a digital screenshot of the fees and payments page from your online gathering registration account. This page is going to tell you which checkout line you're in or that you've been assigned, or if you're going to need to visit the help desk on site. If you did participate in express registration, meaning you paid your balance in full by May 1st, you need to, or if you did not participate in that, you need to make sure that you have the remaining payment that's due. And just as a reminder, you have to have the proper payment. I know we've had in the past people come with the wrong amount of check. So that's really important that you double, triple check that. Or you can have a credit or debit card or a congregation or youth group check. And just a reminder, just like regular registration, we cannot accept personal checks or cash on site at the gathering.
All right, and then if your group has signed up, you're chosen to donate to our onsite service learning experiences, we want to encourage you to bring those items with you to registration on Friday or Saturday whenever you come, right? There'll be labeled bins in the convention center, part of the process, so it's going to be easy for you to be able to drop those off. So you're just going to look for a bin or for a gathering volunteer to help you carry those. We got lots of yaps. We're going to help you carry some of that material around. We really appreciate you guys helping contribute to those on-site service learning, making those possible. And the earlier you can bring it, like registration, the easier it is for us to be able to sort that and really get it started with our service learning opportunities.
So once you get to that point and our volunteers confirm that you have everything that you need, you'll head into the registration counter that's associated with your check-in line. That's on that that fees and payments page. Our registration volunteers will have you sign off on your registration materials, including your group's wristbands. And then you're going to receive those clear bags, your Bibles, your guidebook, and your sponsor t-shirt from our sponsor, Concordia University Chicago. If you opted in to get the prepaid Visa cards through LCEF, they're also going to have a booth available during registration that you can visit to pick up your cards or ask questions about your orders.
All right, so we talked about registration taking place Friday and Saturday, right?
Right.
So if you're in town, you want to do it Friday because Saturday is going to be your boat, your swamp tour.
Yeah.
Great. Or if you're just coming in on Saturday, Saturday is going to have some special pieces to that. So on Saturday only, there is going to be a shuttle to help you kind of get all your bags and materials from the convention center to some of our designated stops that are a little bit closer to our hotels, right? So there is a shuttle that's gonna go from the convention center to some designated stops, not necessarily everybody's individual hotel, but to some designated stops that are gonna get you a little bit closer to your hotel when you do that. So we will, yeah.
And then also on Saturday, our sports and games courts are going to be open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So while you complete your orientation and registration, your youth can enjoy a variety of sports and games in Hall B of the Convention Center. We'll also have concessions open during this time. As you saw probably earlier this week, we did put a menu of concession stand items that are going to be available at the Convention Center. It's also a great opportunity if you're not able to check into your hotel or you just want to hang out in an air-conditioned place. We've got the place for you. You can bring your group to hang out at sports and games, shop the Gathering store, eat some concession food for just a few hours.
Right, so get some early shopping in.
And then you can take the shuttle back.
Right, so the shuttle back, it's going to be fantastic. And also, hopefully what you're able to do then is with all the different options for times and registration. Somebody asked how long will it take? We say, probably an hour is a good amount, but it's probably going to be less than that. Right. So just, there's not a right or wrong time to complete registration. So do what works best for your group. A wrong time maybe would be like, don't wait until the very last minute, right? But certainly we want you to be able to adjust your time to be able to fit what your group is doing and hopefully exploring the city and getting to meet other groups. I've seen such really cool things online. You guys talking about how you're going to share some of those excursions with each other.
Yeah, what a great way to connect.
Great way to connect with some new churches and some new people.
So just a reminder of what you guys are going to get at registration, because I see somebody asking a question. You're going to get your wristbands, your clear bags, your Bible, your guidebook, and your sponsored t-shirts. And then if you ordered LCF cards, you can pick those up as well. So yeah, following all these items is a surefire way to start your gathering experience off really well. Like we said earlier, registration is really part of the first experience once you get on site. As we get closer to the gathering, we're going to do our best as a staff to provide you guys with reminders and updates for all those important pieces so you feel well equipped to come to the gathering. Make sure you have everything that you need. Also look for some opportunities for some open office hours between now and our next gathering update in July. Like I said, we want to make sure that you guys have all the tools that you need to feel confident to lead your group to New Orleans to arrive. well rested from an easy travel, right?
Right?
We just want to make sure that we have answered all your questions so you can feel well equipped to lead.
All right, so let's look at, I'm seeing a couple of questions.
I will say, if we need a reminder of any of this stuff that we've talked about, we did make a step-by-step video added to our registration stuff.
I clicked on the thing and then was like, what?
No, totally
We don't have to
fine.
Talk about that.
So if you need a reminder of that, of what you're gonna get and what you need to bring, we always have that available. If you want to save yourself an email or a call, you can take a look at that.
Okay. All right, so we got through that material. I see some questions, right? When it comes to the t-shirts that everyone will get, is the same shirt. It's from our sponsors, Concordia Chicago. There's not a separate gathering t-shirt, though you can buy your gathering t-shirt at the CPA or at the gathering store, right?
Right.
So you get that, just that everybody's getting one shirt from Concordia Chicago. Is there parking for charter buses next to the convention center? Yes.
Lot J.
In Lot J, right? Oh, look, Mark just answered that, right? It's like he's sitting across from us, right? Lot J is gonna be available with shuttle buses for registration. And so you're gonna be able to do that. Right, look at, like, if you know the water bottle policy, yep, it's gonna be on that event policy website.
I would love to know, just curious in the chat, how many of you guys are planning to come to registration on Friday and versus Saturday? Tyler's asking about food allergies in the convention center to bring food. Tyler, if you have somebody with a very severe food allergy like celiac disease, the convention center will let you bring in your own food. I think one of the requests that they maybe have is to make sure you have your medical form with you, just in case convention center staff stops you and asks you about it. We're doing our best to work with the convention center. If you've seen us talk online about it, the convention center concessions they use the term gluten avoidance because they work in a commercial kitchen and they can't guarantee that there's not cross contamination. So if you have those really severe food allergies, take the proper steps to make sure that you're well fed and well watered throughout the convention center during the daytime programming.
There should be ways for them to know if that's gluten avoidant is gonna
Yeah.
be, right?
Yeah, they'll have stuff labeled on their menus.
Right, so, if it's something that that's safe to do.
Yeah.
Right, we are gonna have labels on all of those things. I see a little bit of both, a little bit of
Yeah.
Friday, a little bit of Saturday, right? Good mixture. All right, we have time for maybe just another couple of questions if they pop up.
If not, like we said, we're gonna stick around extra for all those gathering questions that you have in our office hours. So we'll make sure to answer all of them if you want to keep leaving them in the chat. I will put the information for July's gathering update. And just a reminder, if you watch the step-by-step video, you'll get an announcement that our office closes on July 11th. So if you have questions or you need to email or call the gathering office, please do so by July 11th, because then we start packing up and we start moving in to New Orleans. A lot of us are getting on planes the following day and heading down to New Orleans. So that week of July, I think it's 13th, 14th, we'll be in New Orleans packing things up and getting stuff ready to see you guys.
All right, I see a couple of questions that I think we can answer really quickly.
Sure.
So intensive sessions are sessions that are a little more intense. And that means that they're a little bit longer, right? So they're instead of them being kind of 50 minutes to an hour, they're an hour and a half, right? So they last a little bit longer. You don't need to sign up for those, but they are going to be for your kids. They're going to be a little more challenging. They're going to be a little bit more maybe they're going to be on some deeper topics, right? And so certainly encourage youth to be able, if they're really interested in the topic, to go and do that, but to time it out, because know that that's going to be a little bit longer than your average session, just to give that speaker a little bit more time to really dive deep into that topic.
And that should reflect on the schedule in the app. The timing should be listed on that And then we do have another reminder that I know we printed in the guidebook to explain to others what intensive sessions are. Jessica was asking if there's going to be a list of sessions. Our sessions team is working on getting you a document that you can look at one thing all at one time. We're going to try and get that up to you up on the app before the gathering, but also know that you will get an overview of that in the gathering guidebook.
Yes. Glow night is a totally optional event that we do not do out of our office, but you guys organize that. So check the Facebook page because it is a night where glow objects happen, but because I don't have to be in charge of that.
Yeah, no, me
There we
neither.
go. There might be somebody who's helping out with that, right? Soon on Mass Event Plus.
I think we can
Oh,
save some of the
insane.
hotel questions for office
Yes,
hours. We
we
get
can
people
save
that are
some
more
hotel
qualified than
hours.
us.
There you go. Okay, somebody's answering you about Glow Night there. Keith, I do not think I understand your question. I might need you to rephrase that one for me.
It's whether it's the payment authorized form or is there another email that will come?
Oh,
for
okay.
Confirmation, we can
All right.
answer that.
Let's
Office hours.
answer that in open office hours. All right.
Julian, do you mind putting up the next month's?
No, I
stuff?
don't. I mean, I got so excited by answering questions and it's time. Our time always goes so
I
fast
know.
here.
I know. All right, guys, that is all the time that we have for tonight. We are so thankful for your partnership as you prepare for the gathering. Don't forget, you can always connect with us, the gathering office. Like I said, do it before July 11th before we have to pack up. If you have other questions, please feel free to stick around for office hours or reach out to us, either email, phone call, or on the Facebook group. Otherwise, we'll connect with you online or next month right before the gathering. Thank you guys for joining us.